Why, hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, the Copper Owl, bringing you a review on my personal firearm, the Rock Island Armory model. Good, let me get it out. Rock Island Armory model 206-38 Special. Yes. So why am I bringing a firearm in my nerf reviews? Well, very simple. It's because, one, I thrifted it technically, and two, it's because it's causing me to get over some bad habits in Nerf. Yes. So yeah, this video is partly a PSA because I know some of y'all are going to be adults. Well, a lot of you are adults by my analytics, and a lot of you are in Cambodia. So yeah. Anyway, so the reason why I'm doing that's tea, by the way. I'm doing this is because I've gotten some bad habits when it comes to Nerf, and it has translated into my firearms. In that, I have the habit of keeping my finger on the trigger and just going pew 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 with that, and that kind of happened when I caught myself when I was practicing with my firearm not to do that, because one, it's different, it weighs differently and all that, but two, it's like, yeah, you gotta do. It's like, yeah, I gotta get over those bad habits, and because it could lead to an accidental misfire and all that, and you don't want to accidentally. These are not Nerf darts and all that, so it really is a PSA about that, and also kind of talking about a little bit like painting Nerf guns, like why we shouldn't paint them to look the way they are. At least keep the trigger, the hammer, or the tip orange and all that. Just keep something orange and everything. Because compared to the double strike here, these two are fairly similar and all that. So yeah. So why did I buy this? Well, for one, today's my birthday. I'm 30 years old. Okay, and I'm a wizard. So there's that. Let me get my drink. Cedar fever. I have a little bit of a cedar fever going on here. And two, it was real cheap. Okay. This gun goes for around like $400, $450. I've seen it for $450 and all that. So yeah, it's not cheap at all. So, well, in firearm standards, it's somewhat cheap, but I got it for $180, and because it was at a pawn shop, they were having a sale, and they're like, "You take it home, we'll give it to you for less than $200." So I kind of saved $80 on it from what they were asking. So yeah, the holster didn't come with it. It came with its case. It's Rock Island Armory case, which is just a cheap little plastic case with the manual, this foam stuff and everything. That works. No ammunition. I had to buy that on my own. Cost me like $26. I bought some more ammunition later, so that cost me a total like around $60 in total. 2 boxes of ammunition. There were different kinds of ammunition as well. So, anyway, the holster cost me nothing. The gun store I went to find a holster, they couldn't find me a good holster. I kept trying different ones, and then finally, I look at their clearance section, which their clearance section is just like, this is the garbage we're going to throw away, essentially, and then at the end of the week, they gave me this holster for free, and it worked perfectly. So yeah, and it is slightly smaller, but it fits like a glove and all that. And I also got me a speed loader with some dummies. So this cost me like around, I think maybe like $30 in total. Because one, I don't like keeping this thing loaded. Okay, that's why I have the speed loader for. I've been practicing speed loading this thing since I got the speed loader. And it took me a while to even find one too. But yeah, and I got the dummies because I was practicing with like empty shells and that didn't work out too well. Then I started practicing with live ammunition and I almost had an accidental misfire. And it was because of the bad habit of keeping my finger on the trigger that I've learned from using Nerf guns. Okay? From now on, Copper Army, I want you to never put your finger on this trigger unless you're about to fire the blaster. Always maintain trigger discipline when it comes to your Nerf guns. Okay? I know it's a toy, but we're going to get into the habit of doing this from now on. Understand? Okay. Because in the future, there could be a moment where you own a firearm, and I don't want you to accidentally hurt yourself because of your bad habit, because of this bad habit we got. But also, it could be a time when like something hits the fan, and you might not need to protect yourself. Okay. So again, good habits are best. So, it's a 38 special. It fires 38 special bullets. Holds 6 in the chamber. It's double action. If you don't know what double action means, it means you pull the again. It's unloaded. I'm gonna pull the trigger. There you go. It fires normally, but with double action, pull back the hammer, does it to the trigger. You see how it's like that? It gives you an easier trigger pull. I don't like the double action on this. Well, I mean, I don't like the normal trigger pull. I think it's actually a little bit hard for me. When I was practicing, I was always doing this by accident. I was like, no, that was too bad. So I got it into a habit of doing that. Because I think that's actually faster. Like, so yeah. So I've gotten into the habit of doing that with my firearm. Though it does kind of scratch at my thumb, so I'm going to try getting some gloves to make it a little faster for me. Anyway, let me show you how the speed loader works. If none of you have ever seen this is really cool because I'm going to show you another function of this firearm. I've seen this in like Ghost in the Shell, actually. Togusa, he uses a revolver in the show. He's the only one who does that. You line them up, and I always thought you push down on this, and that's what speed loads it. No, you actually twist it. There you go. Those weren't in properly. Again, I got the camera right here, so I'm not doing it right. But you never want to swing the cylinder in. It could actually break your cylinder. Well, this rod right here. You go, like you see in movies. Never do that. You pull back you're supposed to pull this back and do that. Ta-da. These are dummy rounds, so I could go. As you can see there. And here's something cool I thought you could just do that with the bullets. But because of how bullets work, the shell tends to have a habit of expanding when the bullet has been fired. So they get stuck in there. So I didn't know this when I got the firearm, that you could just push this back and it pulls them out for you. I didn't know I could do that. And I also remember from an anime that somebody did that. See, revolvers are cool, just like the mechanics of it, like illustration-wise and everything. So when using it, I was like, I'm kind of getting the sights the way I did it the first time, where it was like a little bit higher. As you can see how I'm doing it. Yeah, I was way off on my target. But then I centered the sights, wham, right in the middle, good cluster towards the middle, a little bit to the upper right, but yeah. I had a really good. Out of 5 of the bullets, it's like, oh, if I was aiming for your head, I'm getting the head. The other one, I probably got you like in the arm. But yeah. So the accuracy was really good once I got the hang of it. The feel of the, and again, this is not like a Nerf blaster and everything. You can't do FPS. The looks of it, I think it looks nice. I wish I had a silver finish on mine, but I got this matted finish. So it's like not as noir looking to me, but it kind of like gives me like that whole Treasure of the Sierra Madre. So yeah, let me just let me get my grading scale for this. So just, I don't know what happened to the marker. I misplaced it. If y'all can see my room, I'm fairly disorganized at the moment. Yeah, accessories, well, came with the box. That's pretty good. Sling attachment point, none. And all that. Comfort. I didn't like this part right here at first. Because it kept hitting my middle finger's knuckle. But after a while, I got the hang of it. Okay. Looks, again, it looks cool to me. I kind of want to paint in the indentations of like the serial number and all that with the copper. I might try that actually. See how it looks. But because the logo is in white, I might do that instead. So profile, it's definitely a firearm. It's definitely one that makes me think like you should not paint these blasters. Tactical points, none. It can't use the rockets. It can't use the megas either. Imagine a rocket launcher attachment for this thing. Internals, I don't know what it looks like internally. It's a very simple machine. Not that. Modability, you can change out the grips. It is moddable. Practicality, absolutely this is a very practical thing. You can put this on an anklet holster, which was recommended to me to get one of these. My friend said, like, oh, if they get on top of you, it's like, no one's getting on top of me except for you. Anyway. But yeah, you just put them in there. Anklet, the ammo's cheap. Okay, I'm gonna touch, whoops. There it is. The ammo is cheap too. So, which I'm going to get to, but like $25 for a box of 25, this is not bad. $1 a bullet. So, but the problem is that it's a 6-shot. Usually these things are supposed to be 5 shots. So you're going to have an uneven number of bullets. You're just going to think, what is it? You're going to have 1 extra bullet? Yeah. Which is kind of terrifying to think about. Or you're going to be 2 extra bullets. But again, yeah. So it fits in your pocket. It's fairly accurate. It does have a problem though. You cannot take P. P+. P+ is penetrating plus. It's just a more powerful type of bullet, but with more gunpowder in it. I believe that's what it is. Don't quote me on that. I'm still like fairly a novice at this. But yeah, it's that is a con of this. You cannot fire like big grains of bullets in this. Secondly, another con is that its holster was a pain to find. I got really lucky with the holster, but finding a holster for this thing was just an absolute pain. So there's that. Third is that it is a revolver. It has its problems. You have to individually load it. You got to get a speed loader and all that. Versus a magazine firearm, like those are just as reliable, depending on the brand, and those have magazines that hold more bullets as well as more powerful bullets. But this is a type of firearm that has been used by law enforcement for years. Okay, for decades. I think my grandpa even had one of these. And I'm trying to get into law enforcement too, so I'm sticking to the theme, and I have the trench coat and the hat, so I look like a noir character. So there we go. So yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, okay, I get the idea behind it and everything. It's just it's just your cheap gun. That's just for your protection and all that stuff. So again, I couldn't do my little X's because it's not a normal review. Maybe if I start getting into more firearms, I'll start reviewing them like this and do a review of this again. But for less than $200, you're going to get one of these. I would say buy it because that's really good. But it's like if you're going to pay normal $400, $450 prices, you can get a better firearm for like an extra $100, like a 357 Magnum, which fires 357 rounds, as well as 38 rounds and all that. So it's just also easier to find a holster for those things too. Let's get to, and let me talk about the bullets. So these are light bullets. They're pink because they're for the breast cancer awareness. It's kind of, I always thought that was kind of weird, but it's home defense. It's kind of, the box is pink and all that. I think it's supposed to be like it's catered towards women for them to buy it. So, because I don't get it, like, yeah, I get it's breast cancer awareness and everything, but it's kind of trying to save a life. But the cost of a bullet being $1 really adds a question like how much a human life is worth, whether it be for malicious purposes or for self-defense. I would say really philosophical for me. These things are like hollow points. I think they're hollow points. I forget. But yeah, they have like the hollow point ridges and everything. And this is light ammo. It's 90 grains. So easier to deal with the recoil. Loud. These things are loud. Okay? I keep forgetting how loud firearms are. The first time I fired it, I didn't have ear protection because I thought, oh, I'm not going to have ear protection when I need it. It's like, okay, I need ear protection. So that's the first bullet. This is another bullet. That is, what is it? The Winchester variant. See that flathead? That's for armor. Okay, it's not a P. It's just like, okay, this guy might be wearing some armor. So you go, it's just a bullet to help with that. But it's the same kind of grain. It does feel a little heavier. So this was given to me by a church member when we were testing out the firearms. And his handles this one pretty well. So I think I fired one from my gun as well. So this is just the just in case bullet, in case someone decides to come at me with body armor. And this very light bullet, 80 grains. This is a copper tip bullet. Yes, I bought bullets specifically because they are copper tipped. Because I am the copper owl. Yes, I did that. And I have another firearm on layaway that is from a company that has an owl as its logo. Yes, people, I'm that, just like that. So, it's, yeah. So, what copper rounds do, it turns out these were invented not too long ago because some places outlawed hollow points. And when people do that, that means that they want the bad guys to win. Okay? Always remember that. Because these things are supposed to help take down the bad guys. These things are a lot more devious in that because of how copper rounds work, they go along the tip when they go inside of you. So this thing is supposed to make a big hole. This thing goes, yeah. Leaves him one big of a mess. But that's the surgeon's problem. Also, I keep dropping bullets. I dropped all my bullets the first time I got them. Anyway. And these are dummy rounds. The red ones, okay? They even have a different bottom. These are just for you practicing loading the firearm, okay? Now, the main reason why I made this video is because I was thinking about painting my Nerf guns to look like my firearms and all that, or to look like historical things. Like, you know, I've been making props for Star Wars and all that. And upon realization of my almost accidental misfire, I realized that I gotta really make these things look like they're toys when I paint them and all that. So yeah, it's very it very much was like eye opening, and I just want you guys to be careful and all that, because I'm very pro like your rights and everything. It's like when someone says I'm pro Second Amendment, it doesn't mean that they're pro like them keeping their own guns. It means I'm pro you having your own guns. Okay? I'm pro your freedom of speech and all that. And we might not disagree on everything, okay? Mostly because you're always going to be wrong and I'm always going to be right. Okay? But besides that, we might not agree on everything, but you still have the right to say it, okay? And all that. And when my right to say something is gone, so is your right. And vice versa. Okay? And when someone tries to take away your right to speak, I'll be there to help defend your right to speak. And I expect the same thing from me. And that's why we have the Second Amendment. Okay? And yes, I'm a toy guy. I'm a toy reviewer and all that stuff with my Nerf guns and all that. But it's like, they get rid of the Nerf guns, they're going to get rid of the toys as well. And the real thing, they get rid of the toys. Okay? Those ifs, ands, or buts about it. They're going to get that too. Because once you give them full control of something, they're just going to keep wanting more and more until you're just eating the bugs and living the pod. Let me show you how this works real quickly. See, look, there's like a little ball thing. That's the lock, and there's like a little legs to hold it in. You just put it in there, and then scoop. There you go. Really simple machine. I love it. Well, I keep dropping the bullets. I'm pretty sure there's like extra bullets all over my floor now. Well, I don't remember if I did the advertisement. This has been a long video. But buy my book, The Epic of Cassius Crossroads, at authorhouse.com or barnesandnobles.com. So, you know, I've been wanting to paint the Nerf guns. So, like, yeah, I was going to paint this, and said, no, I have to keep them, like, into this weird steampunk look, and I got to keep the trigger orange. But, yeah. So, hope you all liked this video. I hope you liked this little PSA. Thank you all very much for watching. You all have a nice day. Bye-bye.